Greetings. First off, I'd like to thank all of my subscribers who donated or pledged money to the making of Brian Banks' documentary film. I just checked, and as of the making of this video, 25th of June 2012, he's got 3 days to go, and he's in excess of the amount that he needed, or it was needed to reached the benchmark. It's at the last time I checked, over a little over 43,000. He needed 40,000 and 3 days to go. So I think it's really great. I'm particularly impressed and happy and pleased that I'd like to think that we, in our own small part, contributed to hopefully him making or having that film made about his story, because even if it's not directly what I would call a men's rights film, it's certainly something in the right direction. I don't know what the film will be like or how the events will be portrayed, but I think people will watch the film and get a sense of just, well, how messed up the system can be, or rather is, and I think indirectly it will shed light on the male situation in society. So yeah, thank you to my subscribers. I really appreciate you trying to help Brian Banks out. I think his cause is a worthy cause, and that's why I pledged the little money I could, and I really hope that he gets back on his feet. And I do hope that the NFL accepts him. I'm not an American football fan at all, but if that's what he wants to do, I hope so. I only hope, my only concern for Brian Banks as a person is that he first learns the lessons from what happened. That if it's the case that he's able to join the NFL and be a successful American football player, that he be aware of those lessons. Don't let him. I hope he doesn't fall into the trap once again of the possibility that something might happen like this, or in the marriage trap as so many star athletes have. I hope it doesn't happen to him, but we'll just have to wait and see. For now, it's very good that he was able to meet the benchmark that he needed to proceed with making the film, and so I'm very happy about that. But tying into the Brian Banks story, I thought I'd make a video about what is often termed no strings attached sex. I'm doing this because I've seen a bunch of comments for a number of weeks now, fairly random but frequent nonetheless, on this idea that no strings attached sex is actually a legitimate concept. That is to say, one gentleman wrote something to the effect of, if I don't need to make any effort and don't need to do anything really, and I can just have sex, and why not? Well, my personal position on these things, I prefer non-engagement. I personally do prefer the principle of abstinence, but I'm not a dictator, and I think men should do whatever they want to do. But I do want to illustrate the possibility, not necessarily the fact, but certainly the possibility that no strings attached sex possibly could be a misnomer. Now, in most cases, I suspect the no strings attached sex, your random one-night stand where you get your rocks off, there are no real consequences to that. Most of the time, it's like that. However, I'm not talking, never mind, let's not even talk about so-called intimate partner risks, that is to say, a woman you're actually together with. But let's consider for a moment the possibility that you might end up in a situation like Brian Banks. You might think it unlikely, and it probably is, but it still could possibly happen. You might be in a situation you consider no strings attached sex, and of course he didn't have sex with the female, but you might be in a situation where you have sex and you consider no strings attached, and for whatever reason, and this has happened, of course, the female feels bad about the decision she made, and maybe she regretted it or resented you for who knows. And this has happened where she will make a false rape allegation directed towards you. It's entirely possible. Not likely, but it's certainly possible. So your no strings attached sex can become sex that had a whole lot of strings attached to it indeed. Something to be aware of. Um, Another thing is the issue of sexually transmitted diseases. Now, you might be wearing a raincoat, a condom, but that there are many sexually transmitted diseases that that a condom cannot protect against. There are various forms of herpes, for example, um, among others. So, just another illustration that knows, and this is not me preaching abstinence. I'm just trying to demonstrate the possible dangers that that perhaps we should abolish at least the term of no strings attached sex. If you want to get laid as much as you can, I encourage you to do so. It's your life, and if that's what makes you feel good, then go for it. But these are possibilities. Uh, Maybe you're in a fling or a fuck friendship. I know in the past I had some of those, and there's this idea that you just meet up, you hook up, you have sex, and that's it. Once again, you might be using a raincoat or a condom. It might break. I mean, it's possible. In fact, I had a friend I've lost contact with, and his condom broke, and next thing you know, his ex-girlfriend, well, at the time, girlfriend was pregnant. And that really just turns everything on its head now, doesn't it? All I'm trying to say here is a word of caution, that the idea that there can be something such as no strings attached. I think most implicit in that is the idea that you don't make any effort. That's pretty rare, but it's possible, certainly, just to be able to get access to female sex without making any effort. But the question is, what arises afterwards? What could happen? I'm not doing this to scare anyone, just saying, as a man going your own way, be aware of the possible consequences. Um, we're all desirous of having sex with women, but apart from, in the most cases, the headaches involved in getting access to it, if you indeed find a case of so-called no strings attached sex, it's something to consider. Well, STDs, condoms breaking, but also the very real possibility that a female might charge you with attempted rape or rape, even when no such thing took place. It's entirely possible. And believe me, once the cry of rape has been uttered, it's it's a little difficult to reject, because 99% of society is going to believe the female, not you, no matter how much evidence, well, no matter how much you might protest. Now, could use DNA evidence and what have you, but the problem there, for example, is if you did have sex with her, consensual sex, and their sperm or what I mean, evidence, what have you, I mean, that's not going to show anything one way or another. So these are just things to be aware of in the in light of the claim that you can actually have no strings attached sex. Yeah, usually it happens that way. You can do a one night stand, get laid, no worries. Hell, I have had a few ongoing fuck friendships in the past, the last couple of weeks maybe, where for the most part there weren't any problems. I mean, real problems to speak of. But you never know what might happen. Like I said, had a friend, his condom broke, and then he was dealing with a pregnant girlfriend who got very vindictive and vicious after she found out she was pregnant, for whatever reason. Just things to bear in mind. No strings attached sex, I don't know if that term should even be used or is applicable. I think there are always dangerous possibilities of some sort of strings being attached. And as a man going your own way, I think you need, on an individual basis, to be aware of what those risks are. STDs, broken condoms, false rape allegations, you never know. It's simply not possible to know what may or may not happen. Most likely nothing will happen, but I think caution is in order, and just be aware of what you're doing. And at the end of the day, that's all I really have to say about that. No strings attached sex. I think there are always potential strings attached at the very least. Just be aware of the risks. All I have to say about that, and thanks for watching.